Friday afternoon. I was at work when my phone rang. Mom. I answered while finishing up a report. Hey, sweetie. Quick question. Can we borrow your car this weekend? I hesitated. My car wasn't just any car. It was a 2022 Honda Accord I'd saved for 3 years to buy. Every penny came from my salary as a graphic designer, working overtime, skipping vacations, living frugally. That car represented my independence, my hard work, my freedom. Why do you need it, Mom? What's wrong with Dad's truck? Oh, it's in the shop. Something with the transmission. And you know my car is too small. Your sister wants to take the kids to the zoo, and then to that new amusement park about 2 hours away. We offered to go with them to help. It'll be so much fun. The kids are so excited. Of course. My golden sister Melissa. The favorite child who could do no wrong. The one who got pregnant at 19, dropped out of college, and still somehow remained the family princess, while I, the responsible one with a degree and a career, was just expected to help whenever asked. Mom, I need my car. I have errands to run this weekend. Oh, honey, come on. It's just 2 days. We'll take such good care of it. Please. The kids will be so disappointed if we cancel. You know how much they've been looking forward to this. The guilt trip. Classic mom move. I closed my eyes, already knowing I was going to cave. I always did. Fine. But please be careful. That's my car, Mom. I worked really hard for it. Of course. We'll treat it like it's made of glass. Thank you, sweetheart. You're such a good sister. Melissa will be so grateful. Melissa won't even say thank you. I thought but didn't say. She never did. They picked up my car Friday evening. I watched Dad adjust the mirrors, Mom settling into the passenger seat, already planning their weekend itinerary. My sister pulled up behind them in her beat-up minivan with her 3 kids screaming in the back. Thanks, sis. Melissa yelled out the window, not even getting out to talk to me properly. You're a lifesaver. I waved weakly as they drove away in my pristine Accord, my sister's chaotic family following behind. Something in my gut told me this was a mistake. I should have listened to that instinct. Saturday passed with no updates. I texted Mom asking how the trip was going. Great. Kids are having a blast, came the response with a bunch of emojis. Sunday, same thing. Short, cheerful messages that told me nothing. Monday morning, I woke up expecting my car back by 9 a.m. like Mom had promised. 9 o'clock came and went. Then 10. Then 11. No car. No call. Just silence. At 11:47 a.m., my phone finally rang. But it wasn't Mom. It wasn't Dad. It was a number I didn't recognize. Hello, is this Amanda Carter? Yes, who's this? This is Jake from Pete's Towing Service. We have your vehicle here. 2022 Honda Accord, license plate XJK, 4829. My heart stopped. What? Why do you have my car? What happened? There was an accident yesterday evening. The vehicle was towed to our lot. The police report says the driver, a Melissa Thompson, lost control on Highway 6. The vehicle sustained significant damage. You're listed as the owner, so we need you to come down and assess the situation. The room started spinning. Melissa was driving my car? My car. And it was damaged? How damaged? Is everyone okay? I managed to ask. Everyone involved had minor injuries. But ma'am, about your vehicle. You should probably come see it yourself. I left work immediately, my hands shaking as I drove my co-worker's car to the towing lot. The whole way there, my mind raced with worst-case scenarios, but nothing prepared me for what I saw when I arrived. My car, my beautiful, barely 1-year-old car that I'd kept immaculate, looked like it had been in a demolition derby. The entire front end was crushed. The hood was crumpled like paper. The windshield was spiderwebbed with cracks. The driver's side door was caved in. Both front tires were blown out. I stood there, staring, unable to process what I was seeing. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be my car. Ma'am. Jake, the tow truck operator, approached carefully. I know it's a shock. According to the police report, the driver was speeding, lost control on a curve, and hit a guardrail before sliding into a ditch. The impact was pretty severe. Speeding, I repeated numbly. My sister was speeding. In my car. With her kids in it. The children were in a different vehicle, actually. Your sister was driving alone when the accident occurred. Apparently, she'd taken your car to run to a store while the rest of the family was at a hotel. Alone. She'd taken my car without permission from my parents to go joyriding and crashed it. The anger started building, hot and fierce in my chest. How much? I asked. How much is the damage? Jake pulled out a clipboard. The preliminary estimate from our mechanic is around $15,000. The frame is bent, the engine compartment is compromised, the suspension is shot. Honestly, this car is probably totaled. The repair costs might exceed the vehicle's value. $15,000. Totaled. My car that I'd sacrificed for, that represented 3 years of my life, was destroyed. I felt tears burning in my eyes, but I refused to cry in front of strangers. Where's my sister? Where are my parents? Why am I just now finding out about this? Jake looked uncomfortable. The driver left contact information, but you're the registered owner, so we had to contact you directly for the vehicle. As for why it took until today, the accident happened last night around 8 p.m. It's been here since then. Last night. They'd known since last night and hadn't called me. Hadn't texted. Hadn't said a word. They just left my destroyed car at a towing lot and went home. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands and called Mom. It rang 4 times before she answered. Oh, Amanda. Hi, sweetie. Listen about the car. You knew, I interrupted, my voice dangerously calm. You knew since last night that Melissa totaled my car, and you didn't tell me. Silence. Then, we didn't want to ruin your Sunday evening. And it's not totaled. Don't be dramatic. It's just some front-end damage. These things happen. Some front-end damage? Mom, I'm standing here looking at my car right now. The entire front end is destroyed. The towing company estimates $15,000 in damage. My car is totaled. Well, that's what insurance is for, honey. That's why you pay for coverage. Just file a claim and they'll fix it. I actually laughed. A bitter, angry sound I didn't recognize as my own. Insurance. Right. So my rates go up, I pay a deductible, and I'm without a car for weeks or months while this gets sorted out. And what was Melissa even doing driving my car? You were supposed to be driving it. Dad was supposed to be driving it. Not her. She just needed to run to the store for some things for the kids. It was a quick errand. How was she supposed to know there'd be an accident? How was she supposed to know? She was speeding. The police report says she was going too fast and lost control. That's not an accident, that's recklessness. Amanda, you're being very judgmental right now. Your sister is devastated. She's been crying all morning. She feels terrible about this. She feels terrible? I'm the one whose car is destroyed. I'm the one who's going to have to deal with insurance companies and rental cars, and possibly buying a new vehicle, because mine is totaled. And she feels terrible. There's no need to be cruel. She didn't do it on purpose. Accidents happen. That's why they're called accidents. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone across the parking lot. Instead, I took a deep breath and tried one more time to make her understand. Mom, where's Dad? Let me talk to Dad. Your father is taking a nap. He's very stressed about this whole situation. He's stressed? He's stressed. Amanda, calm down. You're getting hysterical. This isn't helping anyone. Here's what we're going to do. You file the insurance claim, get the car fixed or replaced, and we'll all move past this. Your sister has apologized. What more do you want? I want her to pay for the damage. I want someone to take responsibility for destroying my car. Mom's tone shifted from placating to irritated. Pay for it? Amanda, your sister has 3 kids. She doesn't have that kind of money lying around. You know she's struggling. We all have to help each other out in this family. That's what family does. No, Mom. Family doesn't destroy each other's property and then expect the victim to just deal with it. Family takes responsibility. Family apologizes properly. Family offers to make things right. She did apologize. What do you want, blood? These things happen, Amanda. You're being incredibly selfish right now. Think about someone other than yourself for once. That word, selfish. I'd heard it my entire life whenever I didn't immediately sacrifice for Melissa. When I went to college instead of staying home to help with her babies. When I focused on my career instead of babysitting for free every weekend. When I bought myself nice things instead of giving her money she never paid back. Selfish, I repeated quietly. I'm selfish because I'm upset that my car was totaled while you were doing Melissa a favor. I'm selfish because I don't want to pay thousands of dollars because of her reckless driving. I'm selfish because I'm not immediately forgiving and forgetting. Is that what you're telling me? You're twisting my words. I'm just saying that holding on to anger doesn't help anyone. forgive and move on. That's what adults do. You know what, Mom? You're right. I am going to move on. But not the way you think. I hung up before she could respond. I turned to Jake, who'd been pretending not to listen but clearly had heard everything. Can I get copies of the police report and your damage assessment? Sure thing. You filing an insurance claim? Oh, I'm filing something all right. But first, I need to talk to a lawyer. His eyebrows went up. Your own family? They stopped treating me like family the moment they let my sister destroy my car and expected me to just take it. Now they're going to learn about legal responsibility. I spent the rest of the day documenting everything. Photos of the damage from every angle. Copies of the police report showing Melissa was cited for reckless driving and speeding. The towing company's estimate. My insurance policy showing my deductible and how my rates would increase. Then I called my insurance company and told them everything. Yes, I gave someone permission to use my car. No, I did not give the actual driver permission. Yes, I want to pursue all available options for recovery of damages. The insurance adjuster called me back 3 hours later. Ms. Carter, I've reviewed your case. Your vehicle is indeed totaled. The repair costs exceed 70% of the vehicle's value. We'll be paying out the actual cash value of the vehicle, minus your $1,000 deductible. However, there's a complication. What complication? The driver, Melissa Thompson, was not listed on your policy as an authorized driver. She also received a citation for reckless driving. Technically, you gave permission to your parents, not to her. This opens up the possibility of pursuing a claim against Ms. Thompson directly for the damages. What does that mean exactly? It means you have the legal right to sue her for the deductible, the loss of value, your increased insurance rates, and any other damages you incurred as a result of her negligence. You could also potentially pursue a claim for diminished value. The fact that even with the insurance payout, you're still losing money on this situation. I sat with that information for a moment. Sue my own sister. Take her to court. Make this official and legal and permanent. My family would never forgive me. I'd be the villain of every family gathering for the rest of my life. But what was the alternative? Eat $1,000 deductible plus higher insurance rates for the next 3 to 5 years? Lose money on my totaled car? Smile and pretend it was fine while they all moved on like nothing happened? What do I need to do? I asked. By evening, I had all my documentation organized and had scheduled a consultation with a lawyer for the next day. Then my phone started blowing up. Dad, your mother says you're planning to sue your sister? That's not acceptable, Amanda. We're family. Melissa, are you serious right now? You're going to take me to court over a car? I have kids to feed. Mom, I'm so disappointed in you. I raised you better than this. Family doesn't sue family. Aunt Karen, who wasn't even there, I heard about the situation. You should be ashamed of yourself. Your sister is going through enough. The family group chat I hadn't checked in weeks was suddenly active with dozens of messages, all painting me as the villain. Ungrateful, selfish, cruel, vindictive. How could I do this to my sister? To my parents? Didn't I care about family? I typed out a response. Here's what actually happened. I let Mom and Dad borrow my car for the weekend as a favor. Melissa took my car without asking my permission and drove recklessly, totaling it. The damage is $15,000. My insurance deductible is $1,000. My rates will increase by at least $500 per year for the next 3 to 5 years. That's a minimum of $3,500 in costs I have to pay because of her choices. Nobody has offered to pay for any of this. Instead, I'm being called selfish for being upset. So yes, I'm pursuing legal options. Because apparently, that's the only way to get anyone in this family to take responsibility for their actions. I sent it and immediately muted the chat. Let them be outraged. Let them call me names. I was done being the family doormat. The next morning, I met with the lawyer. A sharp woman in her 50s named Patricia who listened to my story without interruption. You have a solid case, she said when I finished. Your sister was cited for reckless driving. She wasn't authorized to drive your vehicle. The damages are well documented. We can pursue this in small claims court for your out-of-pocket costs and potentially in civil court for additional damages. What are my chances of winning? Very good, honestly. The evidence is clear. The only question is whether your sister has the assets to actually pay if we win. She doesn't. She can barely make rent. Patricia nodded. Then we might need to look at payment plans, wage garnishment, or settling for what she can reasonably pay. But Amanda, I have to ask, are you prepared for what this will do to your family relationships? I thought about that question for a long time. Was I prepared to permanently damage my relationship with my family over money? To be the black sheep forever? To miss holidays, weddings, family events? But then I thought about something else. What kind of relationship did I really have with them if they could let this happen and expect me to absorb all the consequences? What kind of family was worth being part of if speaking up for myself made me the villain? I'm prepared, I told Patricia. Draw up the papers. The lawsuit was filed 3 days later. Melissa was served at my parents' house, where she'd apparently been staying since the accident because she was too traumatized to be alone. Mom called me immediately, screaming about how I'd humiliated them, how the process server came to their door, how the neighbors saw. I let her yell herself out, then said calmly, "You could have avoided all of this by taking responsibility and offering to make things right. You chose not to. Now we're handling it legally. That's all. Don't expect to be welcome at this house anymore," she spat. I wouldn't dream of it. I hung up. The court date was set for 6 weeks later. In that time, my phone was silent. No calls, no texts, no birthday wishes when I turned 29. It hurt more than I wanted to admit, but I also felt something unexpected. Relief. No more last-minute babysitting demands. No more guilt trips about not doing enough for Melissa. No more being made to feel like my accomplishments didn't matter because I wasn't a struggling single mom. 3 days before the court date, Melissa called. Not from her phone, from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. "Amanda, please don't hang up," she said immediately. "I need to talk to you. Really talk, not just please." Against my better judgment, I listened. "I can't afford a lawyer," she said quietly. "If we go to court, I'm going to lose. We both know that. And if I lose, they'll garnish my wages. I can barely pay rent as it is. My kids. Then you should have thought about that before you took my car and drove recklessly. I know. You're right. I know I screwed up. I was going too fast because I was trying to get back before anyone noticed I'd left. I was being stupid and selfish, and I destroyed your car. And then I let Mom and Dad convince me that it wasn't that big of a deal, that you'd just file insurance and move on. But it's a big deal. And I'm sorry. I'm really genuinely sorry." I'd waited weeks to hear those words. Now that they'd come, I didn't know what to do with them. "Here's what I can do," Melissa continued. "I can't pay you the full amount, but I can pay you $200 a month until it's covered. It'll take years, but I'll pay every cent. I'll put it in writing, make it official. And I'll never ask you for another favor as long as I live. Please, Amanda. I'm begging you. Don't take me to court. $200 a month. It would take almost 2 years to cover my costs. But it was something. And it was said with actual remorse, actual accountability. Not the fake apologies Mom had been pushing. $300 a month, I countered. And the first payment is due before I drop the lawsuit. Plus a written, signed agreement that includes interest if you miss a payment. And you tell Mom and Dad that this is on you, not me. You take responsibility publicly for what happened. Deal, she said immediately. Thank you, Amanda. I mean it. Thank you. The agreement was drawn up by Patricia and signed 2 days later. Melissa made her first payment on time. Mom and Dad didn't apologize, but they did stop calling me selfish in the family group chat. 6 months later, Melissa had kept up with every payment. We weren't close. Maybe we never would be again. But there was a mutual respect there that hadn't existed before. She'd learned that actions have consequences. And I'd learned that standing up for myself didn't make me the villain. It made me someone who valued herself enough to demand respect. My new car, a sensible used Toyota I bought with the insurance payout, sat in my driveway. Nobody in my family had asked to borrow it. And that was perfectly fine with me.